Hello everyone, Rokimakushin here, and welcome to the Week 7 team preview for the Not So Casual Pokemon Draft League. We are going to be fighting a good friend of mine, actually. The username is going to be kind of funny because he kind of had like a meme username for a while, but we are going to be fighting, as he will be going on Showdown, Bugbear Time. The name that you'll be seeing on the screen, though, is Rejected Harry Potter, so but he's a good friend of mine, and he is one of the gimmick teams that we will be fighting as well. We fought Mono Fighting a couple weeks back. Time, as I'm going to be calling him, is going to be running Mono Dragon. So let's take a look at his team here. Let's zoom this in just a little bit more. He is running Gouging Fire, Mega Garchomp, Raging Bolt, Dragonite, Baxcalibur, Archaludon, Tyrantrum as one of his Terra Captains of Dragon, Fairy, and Rock, Mega Ampharos, Altaria, and Carnivine with Stellar Dragon Fairy. Now, this is actually going to be a pretty important battle this week. If we go to the standings here, and we go down here, Time and I are basically tied. We're both 3-3 right now going into this week, and I have a 1 differential point over him. So this is going to be a very important battle. Whoever wins this battle and has a consistent rest of the season basically ends up in playoffs. So, gotta do good this week. Gotta win this week, and gotta hopefully win and at least be plenty consistent for the weeks coming so that we can hit that playoffs and do the best that we can, honestly. Even if we don't hit playoffs, even if, we end up fumbling a little bit, this is still a very good first draft that I've ever had. I just wanted to go into this draft not having 0 wins, and right now we're at 3-3. Hopefully going to be 4-3 after this battle, but we will see, and we will be going into the team preview here. Starting off with, I'll be cutting here so that we can get into the team. Starting off things with Gardevoir here. Choice Scarf Gardevoir with Trace, Moonblast, Psychic, Destiny Bond, and Healing Wish. Pretty much the point of this Gardevoir is, against Mono Dragon, come in, press Moonblast. Ta-da! Destiny Bond and Healing Wish are there just in case. Maybe be able to get a cheeky one of either of those off. We're running a lot of power, a lot of sweepers this week, so the Healing Wish might be able to come in huge. But pretty much, Gardevoir here is just going to be clicking Moonblast. We are modest Scarf. Get out as much power as possible to get out as much damage as possible. And Gardevoir is going to be our main lead this week as well. I was debating on some other things, but Gardevoir is going to be the main lead due to the fact that either that he could lead Garchomp for a different mon. I'll go into that later. And Scarf Moonblast with Modest one-shots the Garchomp every single time. So here's hoping. I'm expecting the Garchomp lead, hoping for it. But if it's not, we can always just try and pivot around and see how things go. But Gardevoir here, just going to be able to click Moonblast, outspeed pretty much everything, and do pretty good from there. Next up, of course, is going to be our main sweeper, one of our main sweepers anyway, and our main win con this week is Dracopult, Substitute Dragon Dance set, Dragon Darts, Phantom Force for our damaging moves. Dragon Darts kind of just, with like one Dragon Dance, I outspeed and I basically one-shot almost every single one of his mons, except for, of course, the Tyrantrum, if it goes Terra Fairy, and Archaludon. But Dracopult is not really going to be the one fighting the Archaludon, at least if I can help it. Either that or hope that Archaludon is chipped down to the point where Dracopult just comes in and finishes everything off. through a Dragon Dance. So that is going to be our main hope. Substitute for the Raging Bolt will be nice. Maybe like if it tries to use the Thunderclap, I can get off the substitute and I can just Dragon Darts freely. Either way though, the Thunderclap doesn't really do too much. It does like 30%, like 35 I think at max. Overall though, not too bad. But Dragapult here, of course we're fighting Mono Dragon. We're going to need to keep Dragapult healthy. Phantom, and hopefully chip down the Tyrantrum enough for the Phantom Force. Next up is our main and only wall this week, Corviknight. Iron Head over Heavy Slam, because big beefy dragons will take more from Iron Head than Heavy Slam. U-turn for momentum. Defog and Roost. Defog is there just in case. I don't know if he'll be running hazards this week. I don't know if he'll be bringing the Stealth Rocks and the Tyrantrum, if he brings the Tyrantrum. But the hope is that, you know, we can pressure him out of not having to use those Stealth Rocks. And if he does get them up, we just get into a good position to try and defog them away. Iron Head hits the Tyrantrum really hard no matter what. Overall though, like, I was trying to like think like what would probably be best for this Corviknight. I was debating on Rocky Helmet for Dragonite, but I figured Leftovers was just kind of important. I can kind of chip it down with the U-turn, try and get it out of that multi-scale range, and go from there. Overall, though, Corviknight is going to be our only wall, and hopefully we can play perfectly around it to try and, you know, keep him alive, because he's going to be very important this week for us. Of course, if we're fighting Mono Dragon, we're going to be needing some Ice, as well as some Fairy moves. We already have the Fairy from our Gardevoir, but Jolteon here, a Calm Mind, just in case we can get into that position. But Terra Ice, Terra Blast, Alluring Voice, and Volt Switch. Kind of going to be like more of a pivot Jolteon. This thing can, Jolteon though will come in on just about any attack that the Raging Bolt decides to do, and try and maybe get off the Volt Absorb healing. Because most Raging Bolts run 3 electric moves and then Dragon Pulse or Draco Meteor. So maybe the hope is like, you know, try and hit him on that Volt Switch, get in, get healed, and maybe set up a Calm Mind and do some huge damage there. And hopefully, you know, like, if we do get into that position where Jolteon can clean up at the end game, if, like, Dragapult did his job of, like, you know, doing a ton of damage, Jolteon can come in, maybe get up that Calm Mind and sweep from there. Having a fast electric type is going to be very useful, and hopefully, you know, fingers crossed that, like, you know, one of them can do the sweeping here. Next up is Smeargle, and probably the only reason why he will bring Altaria is because defogging away Sticky Webs. Smeargle though, Spore, Sticky Web, Parting Shot, and Baton Pass. Baton Pass is legal if you just dry pass it. If you do not pass any stats, Baton Pass is 100% legal. So I probably won't be clicking Baton Pass anytime ever this battle. I'll mostly be, you know, trying to get off the Spore on like a good target, get up the Sticky Webs, maybe Parting Shot maybe be able to get into either Dragapult or Jolteon, or maybe even Gardevoir. If Gardevoir is still up. Smeargle here is the main reason why Gardevoir is going to be our lead, just in case they lead Garchomp. If they lead the Garchomp, and I lead Smeargle, they just click Scale Shot, kill my Smeargle, now they're +1 speed, and now they're a problem. So, we're going to see about that, just in case, like, you know, Smeargle's not going to be the main focus. He'll maybe come in like, the early mid, get up those webs, maybe put something to sleep, and I'll be able to maybe get into a very good position from there. So, you know, Sticky Web's going to be super important, and probably the only reason why he's going to bring Altaria is to try and defog those away. So we'll see. Sticky Web is going to be super useful though, especially for Gardevoir. If he can get up a Dragon Dance on like one of his big hitters that is grounded, there'll be still neutral speed. Gardevoir can still outspeed, hit that Moonblast. And we can go from there. So yeah, hopefully Smeargle does pretty good this week. Smeargle has been doing pretty good every single week that I have brought it. And hopefully, you know, it keeps doing what it's doing. And then the last member of our team is Urshifu Rapid Strikes. I'm going super offensive this week. Like I said, I have 3 setup sweepers. That's probably going to bite me in the ass. But Urshifu here is going to be super useful. Because if he gets up that Sword Stance with Sticky Web up, he basically wins the game right there. The only problem would kind of be the Dragonite, but, you know, Surging Strikes hitting 3 times. First strike breaks the multi-scale, second 2 strikes deal full damage. Punching Glove, just in case of Garchomp, also powering up the Surging Strikes as well. But, like, so let's say he has not megaed his Garchomp yet, and so I'm switching the Urshifu. I do not take any rough skin damage. Because that is a big way to deal with Urshifu, is trying to, like, get it chipped down with the rough skins, maybe the rocky helmets, maybe a combination of both depending on the mon, but with Punching Glove, I do not make contact with any of my moves, so I do not take the rough skin damage. Other than that, like Sword Stance Aqua Jet, very good priority right there, very good amount of power, still not making contact thanks to the Punching Glove, and so Urshifu, with Web Up, can probably sweep. Although with Web Up, most of my sweepers can sweep this week. But will really be that late game insurance with the Aqua Jet being able to pick off low targets and kind of do that revenge kill right there. Or be able to like scare off a target and just Sword Stance up. And the good thing is, Surging Strikes, if I come in, or if Archaludon comes in on Surging Strikes, the stamina does not matter because I'm always critting, and Close Combat still deals a ton of damage to Archaludon due to it being still weak to it. So that's the team rundown right there, and we will be doing our best. Hopefully we win this week. Hopefully, you know, like, I'm gonna really be trying to like play to my outs and maybe work on playing a little bit to differential. One thing that you have noticed though, or may have made note of, is I'm running 252 across the board. One of the other people who are taking part in this, who will be fighting I think in 2 weeks, yeah, in 2 weeks, and one of the organizers of this whole thing, he gave me some advice, and I am taking that advice to heart to the best that I can. And it kind of was an eye-opener last week against Jack, where I focused too much on the problematic Pokemon. I built too much around the, like, last week I built too much around the Kyurem and the Zygarde 10%, that, like, I had basically lost sight of the rest of the team. This week, I have basically just said, I'm building a team, I'm running 252 across the board, and I'm just going back to what I know best. And that is just playing to my outs. And so, like, that was kind of an eye-opener. So, we're going to be doing our best. Sorry I've kind of been stammering along this video. I had a long day at work. I'm recording this immediately after. I have not even eaten food, and we're going to be jumping right into the battle here shortly. Although shortly for me, tomorrow for you guys, so I hope that you all join me back here tomorrow for the battle, and I hope that you all have a fantastic rest of your day, and have a good one.